Welcome back. Here is Grim Reaper 1312 666, better known as Nihilus. This will be the reading of at Sugarcube Corner Chapter 3. I pre-read it a little bit and I noticed that at the beginning of Chapter 3 there is little stylic device in there because Twilight is fading in and out of consciousness, so the sentences are not fully spoken and they're neither fully written. So I will complete them at the best of my knowledge, and if I can't complete them I just make a sense up that will have the same meaning. So let's begin with at Sugarcube Corner Chapter 3. Chapter 3. Yes, will she be right? Took a bad fall. We don't know when she'll be up. Dear me, she'll be right? Yes, she's in the danger. Stick a cupcake in my eye. Ah! I lunged forward, screaming. The voice in my ear, the primal fear, kicked back through my body. Two sets of hoofs pushed me back down to the bed while I struggled desperately to free myself. Nurse! Nurse! Come quick! Oh, Twilight, please, calm down. You're safe. I promise. The sound of my friends' voices finally registered. My eyes focused finally. Free. No. Why I think we were free. Rarity's amethyst looks are hanging a little widely over her face, probably from my thrashing, but the one with the strongest grip holding me down was Fluttershy? Rarity? Where am I? I asked the two mares who were keeping me pinned to the bed. They finally relaxed. Fluttershy had more strength in her than I gave her credit for, but she was a vet. She must have had to deal with large animals as well as small ones. You're in the clinic, and very lucky too, Missy. I don't know what would happen if Fluttershy hadn't decided to come back after Princess Luna left. We might not have found you until morning. Fluttershy blushed softly and looked down. It wasn't that much. I found you lying on the ground with a sprained hoof and a mild concussion, so I carried you here. Leave it, Fluttershy, to give a diagnosis on a glance. But then she probably had more medical expertise than any two doctors in the clinic put together. I smiled gratefully. She didn't know it, but I dreaded that what might have happened too, for an entirely different reason. Thank you, Fluttershy. And you too, Rarity. How long have I? Only a couple of hours. I got you here. They put you in the bed, then gave you some painkillers, and bandaged your hoof. The nurse was just telling us if you're going to be alright when you wake up. Fluttershy explained in her usual halting manner. Twilight, darling, what happened? It looks like you threw yourself off of your balcony. Rarity finally touched on the point that I knew had been on both of their minds. I was running from something, I said softly, trying to dig out an explanation that didn't make me sound like I spilled my marbles all over the library floor. Running? Oh dear, from who? Or what? Rarity's voice of concern rose to another pitch. Great, how do I explain this? I heard something talking in the library after Luna left. What freaked me out was all. I started, but I saw the look in Fluttershy's eyes. She wasn't buying it. Rarity might have just left it as is, but Twilight? Who was in the library? Who did you hear? I heard Pinkie Pie. Silence met my answer, much as I expected. Their graces were on part pity, on part worry, to 2 parts awkward concern. Girls, it's just shock. I saw things down there. It affected me. I know that it's all in my head. I just have to get over it. Maybe go see someone about it. Twilight, dear, I'm sorry. It's just a lot to take in. I'm glad you have such a calm view on it, though. But perhaps Princess Celestia? No! I exclaim before she goes any further. I don't need Celestia thinking her star pupil has gone hooves over handlebars. It's just something I need to deal with. Fluttershy and Rarity glanced at each other, then back to me. All right, Twilight, if you say so, but only on one condition. Fluttershy looks uncharacteristically adamant at this point. Sure, girls, anything. The clamor made it difficult to study. It was reading through yet another tome, looking for help, a dry old number called Trauma. Trauma, a treatise on shock and its detrimental effects on the pony psyche. Clang! Rarity, I know I agreed to have someone keep an eye on me so I don't take any more unwarranted flying lessons, but what in Celestia's mane are you doing? I looked over my shoulder in time to wince as another set of tomes tumbles off the shelf, Rarity having taken it upon herself to reorganize the library to be more aesthetically pleasing. Darling, the colors in the place are terrible. The wood finish is fine, but those curtains are practically screaming to be replaced. She trots over to pull down one of the slight saint curtains. Sometimes my magical experiments got a little enthusiastic. I was fairly sure that one was a victim of a sneezing spell I would put on Spike and subsequently been unable to remove for a few hours. Spike hadn't said much since he got back. He spent most of his time upstairs. Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie were two of the ponies he had gotten along with the best. He was taking their loss hard. Besides, Rarity had apparently continued to speak as I spaced out. I felt a little guilty as I tuned back in. I have to keep busy after all, don't I? Since I'm not in my boutique, I have to make do. Her stiff upper lip was admirable. I knew she was having a hard time of it. She had lost 2 friends, the same as any of us, but she was handling herself with all the grace and poise she was known for. She had even brought over a dozen rolls of fabric to make new curtains. I get the feeling she'd been looking for an excuse to redo the colors for some time, since they all seemed suspiciously at the ready and all in complementary forest tones. Tell me, dear, what do you think? Emerald green for the lower curtains, or maybe a deeper color? Nothing garish, though. It would simply murder. That is to say, it would far more complement the earth color of the wood. I just smile, listen, and nod as she flips book around, changing their shelves to match colors to colors. I didn't mind. It's not as though they were in any real order anyway. If they were going to be out of order, they might as well be good doing it. Well, look good doing it. Sorry there. The time passed quickly. To be honest, I doubted any of us wanted to spend the night in our own houses apart from everyone. I knew Fluttershy was down at Sweet Apple Acres, ostensibly giving Applejack a hand pushing. Some rain clouds around. We all know she could have gotten a proper weather pony to do it. Fluttershy wasn't exactly the best cloud maker, and she was barely passable flyer. We all needed company, though. As strong as Applejack was even, she knew better than to go it alone. Night fell quickly. I put away the 7th tome for the day, intending to pick up another only to stifle a truly massive yawn. I shook my head and decided it was probably best to call it a night. Rarity had gone to bed almost an hour ago, though. She was undoubtedly still in process of getting ready for bed. I, on the other hoof, just crawled up the stairs and rolled into my bed. Spike was snoring contentedly in his bed at my side. I took a little comfort in that. I yawned again, letting the exhaustion of the day flood out of me as I found a comfortable spot on the bed. Twilight? I froze, all my muscles clamped again. I could feel my teeth chatter as the smell of formaldehyde hit my nostrils. Twilight! I felt a hoof touch my mane. I felt like an electric jolt ran through my spine. I spun, nearly leaping out of bed with my horn glow. Twilight? Twilight, darling, whatever is the matter? Rarity pulled her hoof back, a look of pure concern painting her perfect features. I'm sorry. I'm just really tired. It was probably just exhaustion. I forced a small laugh. I barely made it up here. I'm surprised I didn't fall asleep at the desk. Rarity just nodded softly. Well, hopefully you won't have any more nightmares. I've drawn a hot bath for you. Go, have a nice soak, and it will clear your head of all the cobwebs, I promise. The thought of a bath suddenly sounded wonderful. I could only shake my head. Oh, Rarity, I don't know what I've done without you here. Dearie, I don't think any of us want to be alone tonight, and here is a good place as any, she answered, echoing my thoughts from earlier. Now, to your bath, before it gets cold, she chided. I nodded gratefully. Don't let me fall asleep in there, though. Rarity smiles, gesturing back to the washroom. Of course, dearie. Now go on. I walked into the washroom. It was steamy and pleasantly warm against my coat. I levitated my glasses onto the countertop, shook some of the tension out of my haunches, and stepped gingerly into the hot water. I sighed softly as I let the heat sink into my exhausted muscles. It was divine. Rarity certainly knew how to draw a perfect bath. The temperature was just right. This is what I've needed. Rarity was right. I can feel the cobwebs melting away. I slipped a little deeper into the water, letting it come right up to my nostrils before blowing a few bubbles. I giggled a little at the foolish act. I spent the next several minutes laboriously scrubbing my coat clean with the bubble bath Rarity had brought with her. The smell of jasmine filled the heated air as I did. I breathed in the smell. It was relaxed, luxurious smell. Definitely Rarity's thing. There was something else though, something beneath the smell of jasmine. It smelled like sugar? The water suddenly felt ice cold as I tried to ignore it. Rarity, could you come in here? I called to my friend softly. My voice was a small foal of a whisper. The small smell of sugar and baked goods started to get stronger. It was like in a kitchen, a very particular kitchen. Rarity, please come in here. She didn't answer still. I knew I should raise my voice, but I was afraid. I couldn't put my hoof on why, but it felt like if I called out, something else would hear me. The bathtub shook slightly. Rarity? My voice smaller than ever. Twilight. No, you're not. You're not real. You're just a figment, I whispered, knowing it wouldn't make her go away. It hadn't before. But Twilight, we are best friends. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I screamed, clapping my hoofs over my ears. Twilight. The bathtub shook again. I heard something like hoofs scraping against the floor, trying to get out from under the low-hanging porcelain. Rarity! I screamed just as the door slams open. The smell vanished like a ghost and the tub stills. Twilight, whatever is wrong? She kneels and wraps her forehoofs around my neck, pulling me out of the tub, wrapping a soft towel around me. I was downstairs when I heard you screaming. I came as quickly as I could. Darling, whatever is the matter? I sniffled, biting back tears of fear and shame. I heard her again. I heard her. I could smell her cooking, and it felt like the tub was shaking, like she was underneath it, trying to get out. For a moment, I smelled the basement again, the stink of viscera badly concealed beneath the veneer of industrial cleaners. I sat there, shaking in Rarity's arms, as I cried and bit back the vicious attempt by the contents of my stomach to make a second appearance. There, no need to fret. I'm here, and she's gone. She's gone forever. Rarity whispered. I watched the tear trace softly down her ivory coat. So, this was chapter 3 of at Sugarcuber Corner. I hope you liked it. I did some heavy editing at the first part because of the in and out fades and the static you will hear. It was quite a pain, but I tried to manage to make it believable, at least. So, I will do now not cupcakes or nicht cupcakes. And after that, it's the special for today. A little story of a friend of mine. I hope you will enjoy it. Till then.